For language settings on a Chromebook, you've got a couple of different options. One is simply changing the language input of your Chromebook. So to do that, go down to your icon in the lower right corner and go into the settings gear. And the language and keyboard input settings are way buried in here in the advanced settings, but we're just going to go to search settings and just type language. All right, a couple things are going to pop up here, but we're going to look for languages and input, and we need to start with the language. Now, by default, it's going to show English, and we're going to choose Add Languages. So pick the language you like to choose. I'm going to choose Ukrainian. So as I start to type it, there it is. And now I can add it. Now that I've added Ukrainian, I can go down to my input method. And even though I have US keyboard enabled, I can also manage input methods. So go to that. Now I'm going to see an option for Ukrainian. Now, go back a little ways. On that last page, you may have noticed for managing your input methods, we want to see this option here to show the input options in the shelf. The shelf is down here at the bottom. Watch what happens when we click that. Ready? Boom. See that? Right now we're at US. So I'm just going to minimize that. We're just going to leave it for now. So I can type hello. I'm in English. But look what happens when I click here and go to Ukrainian keyboard. And I can say all sorts of stuff. I can type in Ukrainian. Okay. Now I can do more than type in Ukrainian. When I click that Ukrainian or the language, check it out. I've got a few other options. In fact, I can even use my voice. Christos voskres. That means Christ is risen. They say it at Easter time. Anyways, so I can do my input settings through my voice like that as well. And I can just minimize this to get rid of it. So that is one way to use the language and input settings. The challenge with using that keyboard is you kind of have to know on the English keyboard where the Ukrainian characters are. Now, some people have gone as far as like gluing on the Ukrainian characters on top of the English keyboard. Others have purchased an overlay. You can do that. There's nothing wrong with that. So I'm going to go back to English keyboard for now. There's another way, and that's when you're writing, and that is in Google Docs. In Google Docs, you can go to the File menu in any Google Doc, and you can change the language. And watch what we can change it to. We can go down, we can go down, we can go down. Ukrainska, there it is, Ukrainian. So I can change it to Ukrainian there. Now when I do that, way up here in the upper right of my Google Doc, this has suddenly appeared. It wasn't there before I chose a different language. This only will show up here when we've got a significantly different set of characters. If it's just French or Spanish that use the the same letters that English uses for the most part, it will not show this different option. But for something as different as Ukrainian or Chinese or Arabic, it would show this different option. So check out my three options. I'm not certain how this would be valuable, the writing pen input. That is pretty much only useful if you have a touch screen with a stylus Chromebook. But one option is to show an on-screen keyboard. Now that must not be showing right now because this thing must be in the way. Let's try that again. I'm going to demonstrate this, transliterating. It's actually really cool. So if I am in English and I want to say Dobre den, which is good day, I could just start typing it in English and watch what happens. So I can now see some different options that I can choose in Ukrainian. So I can do it that way. It's a transliterating way. Now, people who are experts at language may feel differently about this than I do. I'm not sure why this isn't working, but when you choose the keyboard, it will show a little on-screen keyboard right there. Perhaps because of the screen recording tool I'm using, it's not showing up. But so these are some options you have. Now there's yet another option. And that option is this. I can go to a tool called voice typing. By default, it's English, but I can change this to a different language, including Ukrainian. Now I could say, click my microphone. You're going to have, the first time you do this, it's going to say, hey, can we use your microphone? You'll say, yes, you can. I've already done this, so it's going to work. So watch this. It turns red when the microphone's actually lit up. You ready? Christos voskres. Voistinu voskres. Loosely translated, Christ is risen. Indeed, he is risen. All right. So that's another way to do it. That's a really cool option for Ukrainian. There is yet another option for language support in Google Docs, and that is using the read and write toolbar. So look up here in Google Docs, you'll see the read and write toolbar. There is an awesome tool called voice typing. And I am going to highlight some words. And this takes over the comments section of a document. The voice typing does, but instead of actual typed comment, watch what it'll let me do. Christos voskres, voistinu voskres. So I'm going to choose to insert that comment, and what it will do, wherever I have highlighted some words and then gone to the voice typing tool in Google Docs and I've inserted a voice typing, it will offer to put in a comment that records audio. So what that did, if you didn't hear it, was it played an audio recording of what I recorded there. So you can have students read back in whatever language you're working with, in this case Ukrainian. You could have them read back and do sort of an oral version. And if they hand this in to you through Google Classroom or Microsoft Teams, then you will be able to listen to that audio, or you can give instructions. And your maximum recording length for those voice notes is 60 seconds, but that's for each comment. You can do as many comments as you want on the document. So there are a few of the language options you have for using Chromebooks in general, which is the keyboard input that you can use anywhere on it to do searches, to work in Office 365 or email. But if it's Google Docs only that you want, then a great option is just to change the language in Google Docs, as well as using the voice typing and also simply the voice notes in read and write. There is yet one other option, and this is you can find in the Chrome Web Store. I'm going to Google search Chrome Web Store. There is, I'm going to go Chrome Web Store, and I'm going to search for, now language teachers, you either love this or you hate this, Google Translate. So this extension, which I've already added, once you could choose add to Chrome if you don't have it and you want to try it out. What this will do, watch this. So I've typed this in right here. I can copy it, Control C, and I can go into my Google Translate extension. There it is. And I can Control V to paste it in, translate. There it is. It picks it out that it's Ukrainian. It'll if this is, I hope this is capturing sound, but if it isn't, it is speaking that back in Ukrainian, and then it will speak back what the English translated version is. And so that is an option you have if you'd like to have that written word that students may encounter spoken back to them. So all they need to do is copy it, paste it into that Google Translate extension, and then it can be spoken back to them so they can hear what it sounds like. So these are all different options you have for language support in the Google environment, be it Chromebooks or be it in Google Docs.